Hello gamers from around the world, this is Archimedes, the video game enthusiast from Germany, with another thought-provoking video. The year of a console launch is always something special. Console manufacturers lay out their plans for the future of gaming, explain how they will evolve the video game industry further, what innovations gamers can expect, and so on. And well, we all know that 2020 is a very special year all around the globe and we all have to deal with unprecedented circumstances. But gaming is a perfect distraction and the gaming industry is incredibly exciting at the moment. Not only will we have a ton of amazing games to play later this year, no, we will also get a new generation of consoles. And those of you who follow my channel know that I'm incredibly excited for both the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. This whole year we have been getting news and informations about the new consoles and learned how Sony and Microsoft will approach the next gen, although admittedly we still have many unanswered questions from both. But we have an idea what innovations we can expect and in which direction Sony and Microsoft want to move the video game industry. The last time we had that was in 2013. And yeah, we did get the mid-gen upgrades and those launches were also very exciting because it was something unprecedented in the gaming industry and it was very interesting to see how something like that works. But back to 2013, we all know that the announcement of the Xbox One and the PS4 couldn't have been more different. Microsoft especially talked a lot about TV, cloud, digital games, etc. and the outcry was huge. But when the consoles actually launched in November 2013, Microsoft has already backtracked a lot. And if we are honest, besides a very small technical delta of the consoles, the two consoles were relatively similar at launch. Both had a couple of exclusive games and what they offered in terms of services, etc. At the time they were basically the same. But this year with the next gen consoles this is different. Sony and Microsoft are taking a very different approach to console gaming, and in this video I want to analyze and discuss with you what are the differences in how Xbox and PlayStation approach the next generation, in which directions do they want to evolve the gaming industry, and what are the pros and cons for us gamers. But before we do that, I want to ask you for a favor. If you watch this video and think you like what you see, then please consider to hit the like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to not miss out on future content. I put a lot of work into my videos and I try to grow my channel, and this one little click from you helps me more than you think. And if you know someone who would enjoy this kind of content, please feel free to share it out, I would greatly appreciate it. And now let's see how Xbox and PlayStation are approaching the next generation. Let me put out a disclaimer first, cause I can already see the fanboys taking out the pitchforks and coming at me. I have played video games before Sony and Microsoft even made them, and I have bought more than 40 different consoles and handhelds in my life, and I'm a multi-consolero through and through. So this video is not meant to fire up the whole console wars. It's more that I like to take a step back every once in a while and want to see where the gaming industry as a whole is moving towards, and I wanted to share these thoughts. Okay, let's start with Sony. They have clearly said that they believe in generational leaps, just like it has always been. Let's hear from the head of PlayStation, Jim Ryan himself.
At PlayStation we believe in generational transitions, and we put years of work into making them happen. We want you to enjoy the unique benefits of moving from one generation to the next.
So this statement has been discussed a lot on social media and probably most out there have heard it. Sony wants to make games exclusively for the launch of the PlayStation 5, meaning that games like the announced Spider-Man Miles Morales or a bit later down the road Horizon Zero Dawn 2 will only run on the PlayStation 5 and not the PlayStation 4. And this is a very effective statement. It is something console gamers are used to. When I bought my PlayStation 4 I knew that games like Killzone would only run on the PS4. And of course the whole idea of a new console is that we have games that take full advantage of the new hardware, that we get games that were not possible before on older systems. And that is what I mean by effective. People understand this idea because they are used to it, and of course it gives you the feeling you are playing something special on your new machine, something that justifies your €500 or dollar purchase. So this is definitely an understandable marketing move. But it's more than just that. I like the idea of new game designs, and I'm specifically saying game designs and not graphics. Game designs that are not possible on older older hardware. For instance, a new level design that is only possible with the SSD, or a very good AI or physics simulation that needs the new Zen 2 CPUs, and so on. So may it be marketing or actual gameplay design, Sony will launch the PS5 with first-party games that run only on the PS5. Now let's have a look on how Microsoft approaches their game release strategy for the new Xbox Series X. Well, they have said that in the first year or two of the console lifecycle, all their first-party games will launch on both systems. For instance, Halo Infinite, the flagship launch title from Microsoft, will also be released on the Xbox One S and X. Of course, it won't run with the same graphic settings and frame rates than on the new Series X, but still, if you just want to play the game, you do not have to upgrade to the next-gen console right away. They have already announced games that are years out that will only run on the Series X, like Fable, The Reboot and Avowed. So these next-gen exclusives are coming in a few years or so. But they are convinced that in the first year or so of a console lifetime, games can be scaled down to run on older systems, and they will do that, just like they do it on PC. PC games have a lot of options to reduce graphical fidelities so they can easily run on weaker hardware. It's nothing new on PCs, developers have been doing it for decades, and why shouldn't it be possible for consoles? And of course, there's something else. All Xbox first-party games can also be played on PC, so if you prefer it, you don't even need an Xbox console to play their games. So Microsoft is basically giving the gamers options. Play your games over here on your Xbox One you have today, or over there on the new Series X with a lot of enhancements, or play them on your PC if you prefer that. They go even further. With their xCloud streaming service, the games are not computed locally anymore, but in the Microsoft data centers. Basically all you need is a screen. You can stream the game to basically any device, your phone, your PC, your washing machine, whatever. So the approach is very different than Sony's approach in the way how they position their console. Sony obviously wants you to buy the new console as soon as possible, and they have publicly said so. They want to move console owners over as quickly as possible, while Microsoft said, we don't care where you play our games as long as you play them. Best of course through our subscription service Game Pass. And that brings me to my next difference in between the two. Xbox has been heavily promoting their service Game Pass, a Netflix-like subscription service for games, where you can play more than 250 games at the moment for a monthly fee of 10 to 15 euros respectively, and all their first-party games will be in the service day one at launch. Sony has also their subscription service PlayStation Now, but it is nowhere near the value of Game Pass, and it has not been promoted as heavily as Game Pass from Microsoft. They want to retain more of the classic retail model where you buy the game and own it. Besides this major difference in how they want you to play their games, there is also a difference in the approach of backward compatibility in between the two. Microsoft has talked about this a lot. They said the next generation is the most compatible console generation ever, cause all the games that run today on the Xbox One, except the ones that need Kinect, will work on the new console as well. That includes all backward compatible Xbox 360 and OG Xbox games, and a lot of them will even run and look better on the new system. So basically your complete Xbox games library will just work on the new console. This kind of compatibility is not limited to games, but works for all accessories as well, meaning all your controllers, headset, etc. that work today on the Xbox One will also work on the new Series X. Sony on the other hand have said that the PlayStation 5 will be back compared towards the PS4, but not the previous systems. And even the PS4 games won't just run natively. They talked about only about 100 games running at launch, with more being added later. Controllers on the other hand will not really work with PS5 games. You can use the PS4 controllers only for back-compat titles, but again, the statement was that they believe in generational leaps and that they want to take advantage of the new haptics in the PS5 controllers. To be honest with you, Sony has not been very clear in their messaging in how they actually want to approach back-compat in the PS5, but it is obvious that Sony wants you to really move over to the next-gen console as quickly as possible. Okay, as you can see, the two players Sony and Microsoft approach the next generation differently. May it be the way on how they handle console exclusives, the way how they want to sell the games to you, or in how they treat your previous purchases in their respective ecosystem. Sony is by a far stretch the market leader. They have approximately sold 120 million PS4 consoles, which is an incredible achievement. So obviously their strategy has worked well for them so far, and that is probably why why they are holding on to the classic console business strategies. They lock certain games behind the purchase of the new console, trying to incentivize the purchase of a new PlayStation. By not fully supporting older games on the new system, they probably save a lot of money and work because of all the licensing and legal issues that come with the back compat. And not having a subscription service like Game Pass where they put in games day and date is also a business strategy, because they see more money in selling games as a whole. Of course, best in digital sales to cut out the middleman, aka the retailer. That's why I expect that the all digital PlayStation 5 without a disc drive will be significantly cheaper than the one with a disc drive. Microsoft on the other hand sees the future of gaming not in a single device, aka the console. The console is just one option for us gamers, but they are also cool with it if you play their games on PC, your phone or wherever you want, as long as you subscribe to Game Pass and generate a plannable and steady stream of income for them. They are not interested in building one successful platform, but in building up an ecosystem, cause they know if you are invested into an ecosystem where you have your games library from the last 15 years and you can play them all, you will most likely stay in that ecosystem. That is why the whole strategy of Microsoft is to give the customers options. Buy your games or play them via subscription service. Play your games on your console or via streaming in xCloud. Play it on PC, the most powerful console available, or on a cheaper and weaker entry system. And I'm referring of course to the rumored Xbox Lockhart. By the way, a very reliable birdie of mine has told me that Microsoft is pitching a white cube at the moment to major retailers. So the mockups that have been circling in the internet of the Xbox Lockhart might be more correct than we think. But back to the actual topic. For me it is absolutely interesting to see that both major players will not start the console generation the same. Not only do the two consoles have a delta in the computational power, but the whole approach towards the gaming industry is different. Which model will have more success in the next 5 years? The classic approach from Sony, where they control the main part of the narrative but can also more streamline and focus the console gaming experience for us gamers, or is it the more open approach from Microsoft with building up an Xbox ecosystem and giving gamers and developers basically all the options and choices the right way? If you put the fanboy goggles off, at the moment the more customer friendly approach is definitely the Xbox route, but will it also be the healthy one for the game development process and the gaming experience we all look forward to? It is definitely a gamble for Microsoft, but I am glad that they are taking this route, cause as a customer I definitely benefit from it at the moment. And if it is successful, we all know that Sony will adapt to this. And again, without being fanboyish, we have to say that this is exactly what we need. Healthy competition, both companies fighting for our wallets, trying new things, moving technology and the gaming industry as a whole forward. That's where gamers benefit from the most. And with that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did so, please do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button as well as the notification bell, and consider sharing this out to other gamers. I would greatly appreciate it. And let me know in the comments below, how do you like the two different approaches from Microsoft and Sony? Do you see even more differences in between the two? Which way do you think helps gaming the most? And besides here on YouTube, you can also hit me up on Twitter, where I share a lot of opinions and gaming discussions. But for now, thank you very much for watching, I see you the next time, and game on!